Man, has it really gotten that bad for him already? I don't know, man. Today, what we're doing is we are responding to what some folks on the Montreal media have been saying about Habs goaltender Samuel Montembeault. And this is going to be quite the discussion heading into today's NHL festivities as the Canadiens are in Vancouver to play off against my Vancouver Canucks. Obviously, this is going to be a pretty exciting game for me. We'll see whether or not there actually are some positive outcomes from Vancouver's end, if Lucas Reichel looks like a good enough player to stick around, if Montreal can take advantage of their anger and indignation from the Edmonton game a few nights ago and use it to totally pile up goals on whomever it is Vancouver decides to start in this one, whether it be Thatcher Demko or Kevin Lankinen. But speaking about the goaltenders, I wanted to talk about Montembeault, because one of the other narratives from the game against Edmonton that we didn't talk too much about in yesterday's Cole Caulfield calls out the refs video is the fact that Samuel Montembeault did indeed give up some of the goals towards the end of the game, which allowed Edmonton to obviously win. Montembeault, if you take a look at the game itself, let in 6 total goals on 29 shots against for 23 saves. He had a .793 save percentage, which is really not great, especially when you consider the fact that Edmonton was able to score 3 goals in the span of just a few minutes in the third period. Here is what was talked about on BPM Sports Talk Radio by Gilbert Delorme. The video on Twitter, which has the quote, it's titled, Jakub Dobeš is the solution for the Canadiens? And the quote, it actually starts out in English. Delorme says, make an effing save. That's literally the way that it starts out. Not freaking, he says the other word that does not have that same vowel in there. But then Delorme continues in French, make a stop, you don't have a choice. You're on the road, you have no excuse, you've got to be able to manage your game. We can blame the referees if we want, but at the same time, they're not going to change their call. Shut your mouth and play. This year, we have to win. Who gives you the best chance to win, boys? It's Dobeš. And at the time of recording this audio, we don't know who the Canadiens are going to start in today's game against Vancouver. I'm recording this the night of October 24th, so obviously, they're not going to reveal the starter at this point, but just thinking about whom it is the Canadiens have a better chance to win with, I honestly would not disagree with the idea that Jakub Dobeš may provide a little bit more projectability than Montembeault at this point. I don't know, is that just crazy for me to go out there and even insinuate? We're seeing a bunch of folks saying that Dobeš should start against Vancouver, and if that's the case, I'm just going to say it right here. I think they'll probably do pretty well, because Dobeš has been a super hot goaltender lately, and Vancouver can't get any offense. They got 1 goal against the Nashville Predators the other day. They're cooked, bro. Go with your hot hand and give yourself the best chance to win. If Montembeault can let in some stinkers, and you don't have full confidence in him, just toss Dobeš out there to Vancouver. Am I saying this because I want to get a boost on my fantasy team? Yes, technically, but I also have Demko on my squad, so I don't know. It's going to be a really interesting game to pay attention to. One thing's for sure, though, Sergei Bobrovsky, you're not getting the benefit of the doubt anymore because your 5 goals against on 15 shots or whatever it was against Pittsburgh totally cost me my week in one of my other leagues. So, yeah, thanks a lot, Sergei. Either way, let's talk about some other things in regards to Samuel Montembeault. This is what was posted on to TVA Sports yesterday. It's a quote from Renaud Lavoie saying that according to him, Samuel Montembeault looked like Caden Primo. Oh boy, is this really the level of comparison that we're going to start bringing up now for this guy? Comparing Samuel Montembeault to literally one of the, not the worst goaltenders in the NHL last year? Let's scroll down and read this article. Even though he didn't necessarily allow any questionable goals, Samuel Montembeault was far from saving the day during the Canadiens game Thursday in Edmonton, and doubts about him persist, if not grow. Once again, the Habs goaltender conceded at least 4 goals in a game. The Oilers scored 3 times in the final period to turn a 5-3 deficit into a 6-5 victory. This tough night for number 35 followed a 4-3 loss to the Rangers on Saturday. Also, TVA sports hockey expert Renaud Lavoie detected clues that don't lie and remind him of a figure seen in Montreal in recent years. When a goalie's confidence is low, he forgets to be big. It's often happened that he falls to his knees. It's like I saw Cayden Primeau in front of me again. In Primeau's case, it was automatic. His shoulders on the inside instead of being broad. I'm exaggerating, but it becomes an open cage, and with his movements, the goalie is cooked, observed the journalist on BPM Sports Channel on Friday. At .382 goals against and an .842 save percentage for the current year, it doesn't inspire confidence for the fans, and certainly not in the main player concerned. What does that mean? Okay, lost in translation, we'll just say. 2 of the Bleu Blanc Rouge's 3 losses this year have resulted from blown leads in the final 20 minutes. At the end of the day, you have a chance to close the books, and you don't. It'll happen in the season. I don't think the organization's level of concern is very high, but it has increased a little, Lavoie said, adding that he has noticed a change in the goalie's pregame routine this year. If I were him, I would hit the stop button and go back to what I was doing last year. Many observers expect to see Jakub Dobeš, whose save percentage is .950, return to the net Saturday in Vancouver. It remains to be seen when Montembeault will return to action. The Canadiens will visit the Kraken on Tuesday before returning to the field on November 1. Okay, so maybe I do start Jakub Dobeš today. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? But at this point, I think we gotta remember where Samuel Montembeault came from. The fact that he was acquired by Montreal on waivers from Florida, of all teams. Like, I still remember being at Metrotown, recording a vlog on my phone when Samuel Montembeault was acquired by the Montreal Canadiens. That was how long ago that was. But Montembeault was never ever supposed to be a number 1 goalie really anywhere. He kind of worked his way up, and he was able to take that spot in Montreal because there was an aging out of Carey Price. He was no longer a viable option for the team, and everybody knew that. It's not a big deal. He was an AHL caliber guy that was given a chance in Montreal with a plethora of goaltenders available for them. Like, just to emphasize that point, Samuel Montembeault's first Habs season was 2021-2022. These are the Habs goalies that played that year for the team. You had Andrew Hammond, Jake Allen, Samuel Montembeault, Carey Price, Cayden Primeau, and Michael McNiven. Like, look at the list here. It's not really all too great, but Montembeault emerged from the shadows as the top guy, inevitably, and was able to put together some pretty decent seasons. Consistent 900-plus seasons for the Canadiens. This year, things have not gone so great, and Jakub Dobeš is clearly the better statistical goaltender. But the question is here, how concerned are you? Seems like a bunch of folks in the media are getting concerned, but is it warranted? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like button. If you didn't, the dislike button's down there for you too. Those comments, they help out with the algorithm, so I'd really appreciate that, so let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.